And because remember what the a lot of these soaps and dramas do is they do bring real life sort of instances, and they play it before us. So I mean, so what would your thoughts be on that if a woman wants to be in a relationship? Because there's some, for example, women, Muslim women, who want to be in a
Well,
relationship,
I
who don't
think
mind being in a relationship.
anything beyond a man and a woman
Mm,
is not good. You know,
mm,
like I just that's my belief, and I believe in practicality it
mm.
shows. You know, and even you look at most, and this is actually probably the biggest proof of it. You look at most Muslim families; it's one man, one woman.
Which is why I asked the question that do you know anybody like of your Muslim friends who have more than one wife? And the most
In
likely
London,
case scenario
yes.
would be,
In London, yes. London
yeah,
North, most of
you
them
know,
do
most of them would have
overlap.
the one wife. And on this note as well, it's not straightforward as having a more than one wife. There's so many rulings that come into place for having more than one wife. For example, if they're not treated equally, you're not just between the two in every aspect, whether it comes to financially spending time as well, that person would be sinning. So I think most Muslims,
You
they
don't
do
want to.
have the one wife.
So what do you say about the whole? Because I'm very much struggling with a lot of how you answer questions. It's very much like a very indirect answer and sort of like, oh, well, read into this and then you'll understand. But like, in
Because we
my
have less
in
time.
my
We
eyes,
sadly have less time here to, I mean, for example, the hadith of the stoning, the four marriages. I mean, I do regularly. My main platform is to educate. A lot of the live streams I have are lessons, and a lot of these things I do explain. For example, here I've just prepared, and I'm in the course of preparing a book, and this is just a final draft. Most common questions asked by non-Muslims, and I'm absolutely, you know, I wouldn't shy away from answering some of these questions. For example, if I just open the book, and one of the first sort of topics I'm tackling is polygamy. Okay, then there's also there's the hijab for women. There's the LGBTQ community, homosexuality as well, and a lot of this stuff is in here, and we don't sort of shy away from that. Can I just ask your sort of thoughts on because you said you believed one man, one woman. That's how it's always been.
yeah,
But obviously now with homosexuality on the rise in our communities, what would your sort of intake be on that? We've spoken about polygamy.
well, I
What
don't
about
believe
that? Yeah.
the rise in homosexuality is authentic. I think it's very much an astroturfed effect, and I think we can both agree on that. I think you've been around it long enough to know
Yeah.
that the media is not unbiased, and there is an agenda that they want to push. And you have to understand that the weakening of society is it's done through media, and I don't mean to say that in an offensive way to people that are whatever they are if they believe they were born that way. But I don't believe it's legitimate. I think it's a very Jewish conspiracy, and I think it's you can see it throughout all of Europe. It's been mostly targeted at white people. And I know it's now being targeted at Muslim and black people because black people have just taken over the highest rate of gay people per